In the last episode of my video, the Yoruba Israelite, I showed you the cultural similarities or parallels between the ancient Israelites and the Yorubas. I told you that the Yorubas, from all indication, seems to be one of the lost tribes of Israel. Like I said, the opening sentence of the Bible, in the beginning, is said to be the wrong translation. The actual sentence, the opening sentence of the Bible, according to theologians, they have argued and concluded that the actual phrase or sentence, opening sentence of the Bible, read as "in beginning," and not the Bible, the King James Version, KJV, that we carry about, that says "in the beginning." So the actual opening sentence of the Bible reads "in beginning," like the Hebrew Bereshit, same as the Yoruba opening sentence of the Bible that reads as Ni Ibere. Ibere and Bereshit seem to be the same in the lexicon of Yoruba language. Again, I said that the similarities that are between the ancient Israelites and the Yorubas cannot just be a coincidence, because if the similarities are just few, like maybe 1 to like 6, one can admit and say maybe it's cultural exchange. But the similarities that we see between these two groups are enormous. And once you start to read the Bible, you start to see the similarities between the Yoruba culture and the Hebraic culture, or the Hebraic law. One of them is seen in the book of Leviticus chapter 12 and from verse 1. It says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed, and bore a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of the separation, for her infirmity shall she be unclean. And in the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purification 33 days. She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purification be fulfilled. But if she bears a maid child, that is a girl, then shall she be unclean 2 weeks, as in a separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purification 66 days. That is 66 days. So in the Hebraic law, when a woman gives birth to a boy child, then she shall be unclean for 7 days and will continue for another 33 days. But if she had given birth to a girl child, then she shall be unclean for 14 days, 2 weeks, then continue for another 66 days. So if you look at the Yoruba culture with what we just read in the book of Leviticus chapter 12, you would see that in verse 3, it says that the boy child will be circumcised on the 3rd day. You may quickly want to discountenance this and say some other culture do that too. But those other culture can be found in Africa. Of course, here in Nigeria, we have some culture that do their circumcision at teen. So, the male child is circumcised on the 8th day, which is also the day that any child that is born is named. In the Hebraic law, a newborn mom of a male child is expected to stay in the house to be unclean for 7 days, and to continue and stay in the house and stay out of any activity outside our home for another 33 days, which then makes it altogether 40 days. And at the 41st day, she's expected to come out with offering unto the Lord. Again, in the Yoruba culture, when a child is born, the child stay indoor with the mother until after 40 days. At the 41st day, the mother and the child will then come out, which is called in Nigerian local parlance 41 days. So you will see and agree with me that all these cultural things to details, they are the same with the Yorubas, and that is why we say, or rather that I say to you, that the Yoruba tribe is one of the lost tribes of Israel.